Dear friend,
Let's discover more of who we are together.
love, Haley and Amanda. Hi, dear friends.
Hi, dear friends.
Hi. Welcome.
Welcome back to another episode of the Dear Friend podcast.
If you don't know, we have a pledge at this podcast. And we don't know why.
Well, because we think that we're punny, and so we wrote this.
I'm just waiting to hear
But also because we think our friendship is so
funny.
strong enough that it deserves a pledge, that we would pledge our allegiance to each other.
About nothing. Here we go. Say it out loud in your car, in your walk. If you don't know it, I'm so happy for you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United Mates in America, and rarely in public is where we stand. One friendship, under God, indivisible, live purdy, and just us for all.
That's
Did you
it.
see how none of it really makes any sense?
Yeah, it is. We're under God. We're indivisible. We don't go in public.
Wow.
What
What does it mean to be under God?
It's just us for all.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
So good. We
Under
do
God.
live purdy. We live
Yeah.
real purdy. I hate when you're country, though.
She said that to me earlier.
She said something so country at brunch,
this
and I
is
said,
what-
I hate when you're country.
You said, "Get out of my head." And I said, "Shut the door."
And I said, I hate when you're country. Because she goes, shut the door.
I can only say shut the door like that.
Well, listen, our friendship is really, really special. And the reason we even do this podcast every week, it comes out every Monday, is because we really do think that to stay aligned with who we are and to become more of who we are with each other and with you guys, it's around these really important conversations. And we say this every episode, but we found this poem from Young Pueblo. And whenever we read it, it really just gets us back on track with what this podcast is about, why we do it, and it's why, like the whole meaning behind it. So will you read it, Haley?
I will. And it says, an honest and deep conversation with a good friend, or dear friend, shall I say, is sometimes the exact nourishment you need to regain clarity, get back up, face the world, and resume your mission with a new and focused energy.
With that said,
I hope you're going to say what I think you're going to say.
we are talking today about one of our closest and dearest friends who we recently lost. It's been just over a month, and he is the dearest friend of all. And he is one of those people who really
Did that quote.
Yeah, and like when you talked to him and you sat with him, he'd go there with you and he would make you leave feeling like, okay,
We're going to figure
we know what we're
this out.
doing. We're aligned again. Like he was just one of those friends, and his name was Chadwick Murray. Chadwick, some of you might know him from his really big soul band, Bastards of Soul. Which, by the way, their album Spinnin' is on Spotify. Highly, highly recommend it. It's incredible. And they have a brand new album coming out this spring.
That is unheard, and
It's iconic, guys. It's incredible. And he recorded all of it right before he left us. Like literally the week he
they
went
were
into
finishing it. And,
it was finishing all while this stuff was happening with his health. And so he is like leaving this masterpiece behind. I can't wait for everyone to hear it in the spring, and we will definitely be announcing it when it comes out. We're so proud of his work. And not only was he in Bastards of Soul, he was always in a lot of different projects musically, but he was our bass player for our band, Sister.
And he helped us even have the guts to start it. I mean, he was the
Catalyst.
the starting. We were the little trio when it first started. When we decided to become a full band and we put it out into the universe, the world just brought him to us.
And actually,
Can we tell the story of how we met?
On our friendship episode, we do tell the story of how we met, Chad, but I do want to say it again.
I do too, because I love it.
I love it too, because, so just brief background, when Haley and I moved to Dallas together and we were roommates, we were a duo for years, just playing acoustically, the two of us, every open mic possible, at a Starbucks on a Saturday night.
Boy, we were slammed.
Like any restaurant that would let us sing covers, like anywhere we could play, we were playing, the two of us, acoustically. And whenever we moved to Dallas and we were roommates, we were like, let's really put it out there in the universe that we want to start a band, and we kind of want it to be like rock with our harmonies and kind of soulful melodies. And so we just like put it out into the world. So whenever people would be like, what are you guys up to? We'd be like, well, we're starting a band called Sister. We're starting a band. We named it and everything.
We named it at the same time we got the dog Sister.
Yeah. And we were like,
perfect.
We were starting a band called Sister. People were like, oh, great. That's awesome. You know, like just putting it out there.
And then one night we wanted to hear live music, and it just so happened we lived down the street from the Foundry in Oak Cliff, and this band Murr was playing.
Marvelous, let me tell you.
So marvelous. And we ran into some mermaids there, and they were just telling us, oh, you're going to love this band. We hadn't heard of them.
Never heard of them.
And boy, were they right.
Loved them. They were playing their set, and Haley and I were like, this band's incredible. Like, because you know how when you go out and hear live music, you never know what you're going to get? Like, oh, boy. You're a little out of tune on everything. Or it's like...
Or like cheesy.
Yes. And this was like, oh, my God, this is so incredible.
Tight. You could tell they were like brothers.
Yes. And so Max Hartman's the lead vocals, but Chadwick was the bass player and
the most
background
sultry
vocals.
BGVs.
And so I told Haley, I said, when the show was kind of ending, I said, you know what? How much we've enjoyed this. I was like, if someone heard our music, I would want them, and they liked it as much as we like this music, I would want them to tell us. Mm-hmm. So we just so happened to go up to the stage after their set, and Chadwick was just getting off the stage. And we both said, hey, we loved the music. We're obsessed.
So
You're so good.
We heard your BGVs.
And he goes, are you Haley and Amanda?
We're like, what?
And we were thinking, how do you know us at all? What?
We're nobody.
And he said, I saw you guys play an open mic at LaGrange in Deep Ellum 2 years ago, and your harmonies were incredible, and you guys are so funny. Like, you totally stuck with me. He goes, if you ever start a band, I want to be your bass player. And we were like, we are starting a band, and you're going to start it with us.
And we put it out in the universe, and now you're here, and you know us.
And so we told him about a show that we had coming up. We were playing at a festival.
Just to make sure he still liked us.
And he came and heard us, and he was like, girls, I love it. Let's do this. So he started coming over to our house every Tuesday night
and we'd
for
cook
dinner. Yeah, he would come right straight from work with his band stuff. We would have made dinner, and we would talk for hours. We would
forget to play music.
No, we would write music for hours and talk about life and the type of music we were writing, and we would practice and write different parts
and just until get to know each other.
Really, really late in the night, and it was every Tuesday he was over at our house, and he became our best friend. Like just one of those, you know how when you meet people, we're kind of talking like about with Bonnie and the episode we did with Bonnie about meaningful breathing. It's like when you meet people and you're just like,
click.
What is it? I don't know, but you got something that I like.
And he was kind of in a like transitional time of life, and we just saw how sweet and tender and how much power though too that he had, and
also just like super kind.
Oh my God,
genuinely like. And so kind.
It's like we saw the best in him, and he saw the best in us.
And he really encouraged us. Like we didn't know if we were good enough to have a band, and he was like, "No, this music's incredible. Your writing's great. I love it."
And we would kind of always say like, "Well, we really want it to sound more like this," and he's like, "No, you need to." Like you. He's like, "You need to sound like you. You sound perfect." And so, Sister was born.
Yeah, and then we got our drummer and our guitar player, and we started playing shows with our band out, and it was just like all because kind of Chad saw us and believed in us
and remembered us
and thought we were something to invest in. His time. Think about it, how important your time is. And he was like, you guys, I'm going to spend every Tuesday night with you at your home to do this. And it was so, like, when people invest their time in you, it's so meaningful because it is like it's the strongest currency we have is our time.
Yeah.
And so that he chose to connect with us and like kind of join forces with us. I'm sorry.
Well,
it was just now, especially looking back, like it was always special, but it means so much that a person like him saw what he saw in us and chose
to like be our
hook
friends.
Up with us.
And that's another thing, like we're talking about our music and how it formed, but like
he
opened himself up to us and we couldn't help open ourselves up to him, and so we started sharing our lives with him, and
he brought us our very best friend,
Hannah,
his wife Hannah, who is a person that anyone would be privileged to ever know, and we have always felt so honored to be her friend. And so anyways, this power couple of kindness and generosity were linked up with us, and we've been living life with them and
sharing holidays and every
all
days
celebrations and the low times, the high times. Like they're just those kind of friends for us. And
today
is Chadwick's birthday,
so we decided to talk about him today. We've actually been wanting to talk about him for this whole month, but finding the guts and the right moment and everything, because he's just so special to us. So we also wanted to honor him today and tell him a very happy birthday. And we're so glad that you were born, Chad.
And something about his life that was always very evident, but even in his passing has been so clear. Is that goodness we're talking about.
Yeah, just good.
How he treats people, how he let everyone know how much he loved them, how he never went without making you feel what he felt about you. Like there's no question. His best friend Max was saying the other day that he's like Yoda. Because he Yoda
was teaching us so much stuff, and now it's all coming up for us.
Because usually when you're not sure about like what people mean or they're kind of obscure, but like with Chad, you know exactly how he'd want you to be living, exactly how he would be doing stuff, and like
what was the right thing to do, what was the
how to treat
thing
people
to do.
It's just like the way he lived his life was like this beautiful example about how you treat people. And so to honor Chadwick, one of the things we really wanted to do was, because we all know Haley's an amazing muralist and painter, we really wanted to do a memorial of Chadwick in a mural. And so we got with the Kessler Theatre, who has been incredible, and they immediately...
Well, and this is just also the testament to how people feel about him is ongoing. I mean, of course, they wanted to do it as soon
to honor him.
Yeah, I mean, and this is a building that's in the National Archives for historic buildings, so there's never been a mural on it. No one's ever painted on it. So for them to just be like, absolutely. I mean, there's hoops we have to jump through, but let's go,
Yeah, it was really a special opportunity to get to do this, because it was Chad's one of his favorite venues in Dallas to play at, and ours too.
And we geeked out the first time we got to play there.
Well, I just remember at band practice, we sat down one night and we're like, what would be our top venues to play at? Like places we definitely want to get shows at. And the Kessler was the first one. Yeah. And I remember the first time we played and we were backstage, we were like giddy little kids, and Chadwick and I were like in the green room, all of us, and we were like taking pictures and talking about how we wanted to play here so bad, and here we finally were playing here. And it was just like, and then his band Bastards of Soul was playing there a lot because they were getting a lot of notoriety, and so he loved that place, and it was really seemed right that we would do the mural there. And so Haley designed.
Well, we designed it together.
Yes, but yeah. And so we designed this mural, and we named it Chadwick Murray Double Halo. And it's behind the Kessler Theatre. If anyone in Dallas wants to go look at it, we finished it before his birthday last night.
For his birthday.
And it is a picture of Chad on stage. Like, it's a pose of him as he's singing. And then it's this yellow halo around him and this green halo around the yellow halo. And there's graphic black lines coming from him in the yellow halo, and then graphic black lines in the green halo kind of going a different direction. And the thought and concept, and I want you to chime in to correct me or add to it, but the thought is that this ripple effect that we talk about a lot on this podcast, actually.
And that you can also see in all the comments and every way that people have been reaching out and giving to.
And remembering him.
Yes.
Is that all this goodness that he shined out throughout his life, it's like, to honor him the best, we take what he's shown us and then we go out and ripple effect so that the next person gets a little bit of that goodness that we got from Chadwick, and then the next person.
It doesn't stop.
It never stops.
And I hate thinking about like his life in terms of time, because that's obviously very sad, but when you think about it in like his spirit and his goodness, it really is like still going on.
It's infinite.
Yeah, and it doesn't end, and it doesn't have to end. And I think that's why, and the lines that you'll see in the halo, if you go look, they shoot out from him, but then in the second halo, they turn a bit, because obviously when his body left this earth, it shifted a little bit. And so the way that we will carry out his goodness is a little bit different than the way he would, but in our own way, but we can carry it out.
Yeah.
And I think that that's like something that I feel like I'm standing up straighter these days. You know, for him, I can't deal with his passing in any sort of negative way. Like, I can't do anything negative as a result of it. I just want to be better, and I know that that's how he would want us to respond. He wouldn't want us to waste one day. He wouldn't want us to not tell our loved ones how we feel, and that all of our dreams are possible, and to be a good friend and to look at people and listen to
See
them.
He really did. He just made everyone feel so special and so seen, and it's such a beautiful quality that we all need more of. And so the whole reason we're bringing this up is obviously it's really something that is right here, like in front of our faces right now, and will be for forever, it feels like. But that this beauty of a life so well lived that was cut really short. This is the first time Haley and I have ever experienced death in this capacity, where it's somebody kind of in their prime being taken from us. And it makes you realize the fragility of life and the importance of how you're living your life, and you're not guaranteed tomorrow. And you know, Chad, he had all of these beautiful plans for the future that are not going to be played out, but it's like his life amounts to so much still, because the way he
got it,
he treated people, and the way he loved, and the way he approached life. And it's such a lesson for us, and that's why we're sharing it. It's kind of the ripple, right?
Yeah.
And we're sharing it because we've witnessed this from him. We want to continue it, and we want others to get the picture,
because it matters. It really matters, the way that you proceed out into the world, the way that we proceed out into the world, and the way that we see people and make them feel seen and that they belong, and that you choose to go the extra mile or do the good thing, you know. it really matters, because when it's our time, it can stop or it can keep going. And I love that I can still hear his voice and feel what he would want me to do.
Yeah. And I actually, I had a dream the night that Chadwick passed. One of the reasons why we did the light orb around him was, like, he interrupted my dream, and he was like in this orb of light, and his face was just so serene. And, like he was just telling me without speaking, take care of people, take care of my loved ones, take care of the people you love. And like, it's just like, I knew he didn't have to say it in the dream. Like, I just knew what he wanted. And,
and then you said that, though, it seemed like the orb of light kind of then wrapped around you.
Me, yeah, like whenever he was getting closer to me, this orb of light kind of came around me. And why I think it's really Chadwick and not just my subconscious is because it like interrupted my dream, and then when he left, like, my dream continued. And I think it's such a beautiful message of taking care of the people around us, and the people not just that we love, but the people that we come in contact with. And a whole nother layer of this already tragedy is that he and his wife Hannah were expecting their first child, and the baby Lennox was born just a couple of days before Chad's passing. And so it's really hard to kind of deal with this idea that he was deprived this opportunity to be a dad, because he would have actually been an incredible father, and he was so excited about it. And it's like really hard to grapple with that. But at the same time, having his son here is so beautiful, because he's this piece of Chadwick, and he's this total bright spot and joy. And it's, we're talking to Hannah how hard it has to be to deal with these extreme emotions of grief and loss, and then pure joy at this new arrival. And it's just, it's
but he's the bright spot.
It's it's terrible timing, but it's also like, I'm so glad he left us Lennox.
And I feel like, because we've been spending so much time with him, I feel like we could get like too personal too fast.
Yes,
but,
I know.
Yeah, I just think also that, like, Lennox as a baby, like, that he just gets something that we don't, as like grown, tainted human adults.
He's closer to the source, as we say about children.
Yes, and I know that may sound weird, but I really believe that. And I think that he is bringing that peace and that joy and that purity that comes from the source and that spiritual land, however you want to explain it. And so it makes, in a way, he makes all of us feel closer to Chad and to that purity and that goodness that we all need during times like this,
So we obviously, we are all grieving the loss of Chadwick, and I'm sure people who have lost loved ones understand that feeling, and that the best way to honor them is to go forth and do their best self now through us. And obviously we all ask for prayers and good vibes towards Hannah and Lennox, his beautiful family, and his mother. And we just, we're going to put a link to the GoFundMe account that Max started for the family, and they have actually already reached the max, the goal. But they're obviously it keeps going and it can continue. And so if you feel like this is something that you want to contribute to, obviously that would be such a blessing for the family.
But I think the best thing that all of us can do is to go out into the world and carry Chadwick's spirit and goodness around with us and try to do the right thing, do the good thing, look someone in the eyes, remember someone's name.
And we've got, if you're watching, we've got him right here
On our poster.
Chadwick on our sister poster. And we love you, Chad. And, you know, tell the people you love that you love them. And spend the time with them that you want to. Because also we were kind of deprived with the pandemic, obviously, being more isolated. They were very careful. So were we. So we missed a lot of time with him that we couldn't even go back and change. But it's just like, spend time with people who you care about. Stop spending time with frivolous people and in situations that don't mean anything to you. Like, be with the people you love and tell them that you love them, because Chad did, and he would.
Yeah. Be a dear friend to someone.
I would say that Chad lived purty.
I know. And because also Chad's nerdy.
But also Chad was a huge listener of this
our
podcast. I'm not kidding. He would text me every week and say, I loved the episode. Great perspective. Like, he would always send encouraging messages. He listened to it every week. And I'm telling you, like, it meant so much. And so he was living purty.
I know.
He was
living purty with us all through the pandemic, listening with us.
And so you guys make sure you go out there and you live purty, and, you know, just do the ripple effect. Double halo with Chadwick.
Enjoy these moments, everybody. Enjoy them. Soak them up.
They're not guaranteed.
Chad, we love you. And Hannah and baby Lennox, we love you.